Alright, so for let me double check. Yep. So for this tutorial, I will cover how to model sort of the more miscellaneous pieces around, as well as the kind of main eyeball here. So I'll cover how to make the eyeball, this little piece up here, and this little side door thing here. Alright, so let's get into it. So for the I'm just going to turn my reference back on, and I'm going to go to the front view. Again, I am going to move my camera out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go to face and make sure my tool setting here, that camera base selection, is on. I'm going to grab the faces, and then I am going to hit the 4 key on my keyboard to see what I'm working with here. All right, so I'm going to do an extrude. So before, I can hold down shift and right mouse button to go to extrude, and that's how I like to work. But if some of you don't remember or having difficulty getting to this menu, the extrude command is also up here. Okay, so you can just click on that and you'll show this extrude thing. All right, so once you've done, once you activate the extrude, it'll show you thickness. This menu, you should all be familiar with this menu. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hit the R key, okay, and scale it down by the middle, like so, okay. And then once that's done, I'm going to do another extrude and then hit the R key again and scale it down like so, okay. And once I'm done with that, I am going to do one more extrude and then again hit the R key and scale it down like so. Actually, this time I'm going to scale it a little bit smaller, like halfway there, something like that. Okay, now I am going to go back to my perspective view, hit F to frame my mesh here, and I'm going to turn off my reference layer, 5 keys to turn on shaded view. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select this loop and then hold down shift and drag to select the face, and I'm going to move them up like so using the move tool. Okay, like maybe that. Then I'm going to click and drag to select just those faces and move those out as well. Okay, like maybe a little more. And then finally, I'm going to go to vertex mode and select just the middle point and move that out just lightly, very lightly. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go to object mode. Make sure your the mesh is selected. Go to multi-cut, hold down the control key, and I'm going to place an edge loop at 50% right here. Okay, and then press Q to go back to your selection tool. Go to edge mode, double click this edge loop to select, then hit R, and I'm just going to scale this up, and then I'm going to move it out just ever so slightly so that the curvature of this is somewhat rounded. Okay. And for the last loop here, for this loop, I'm just going to do a bevel just to further soften that curvature out a little bit more. And you know what? I'm actually going to do one to the last loop as well. So bevel and play with the fraction a little bit. Something like that. Now, let me turn off. You should have like a rounded, like sort of a camera lens look. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is go to edge mode and double click on this edge loop to select the whole loop. And I'm going to do bevel. Okay, and I'm just going to reduce the bevel amount to something like, okay, that's maybe a little too small. 0.2. No, that's okay. And turn on the segment to 1 or 2 segments. Okay, and that is sort of your eyeball, and you can add further details if you want in this. So you, for example, you can do an edge loop here, and then with the multi-cut tool selected, you can do an edge loop like here, then here, and then go to face and select the face loops and go do an extrude and sort of extrude it in or out to give it like some housing if you want, make it look, so just to give it that extra detail if you want to. So like again, I say use your creativity. The reference photos is just there for the proportion, but I encourage you all to kind of explore your own design. So in this case, I kind of like this housing idea, but it's a little bit far, so I'm going to move it back. Something like that. Why not? Yeah, that's cool. Maybe he has a little angle like that. Sure. Just a slight angle. Move it down. But again, do your own thing and explore the design. And I'm going to bevel the face here. And that is my ClapTrap eyeball. Okay? And last thing is you can rotate it down just a little bit so that it kind of align with the face, with this kind of angle here. It doesn't have to perfectly align, but again, play with it and see what you get. And something like that. That looks cool. I like it. Let's leave that be. Okay. So the next piece is this sort of, I don't know, like panel something on top here, and this is pretty simple, so I'll show you how to do that as well. So I will delete that and make a new one. So for that, I'll make a cube, move it up like so, and flatten it down, like flatten it out a lot, move it down, and kind of scale it up this way just a little bit. Make sure, play with the proportion. I know there is a ClapTrap top photo here that show kind of the top of what he looks like, but so you can follow this and make this type of piece if you want, which kind of what I have, or you can explore your own idea and give him whatever kind of top ornament piece you want. Yeah, so something like that. Let's try to keep it, somewhat rectangular. Okay, so that, flatten it a lot, move it up, something like that will work. And I'll go to face mode, click on this top face, and I'll do an extrude. And again, the same extrude functions right here. You don't feel like doing the shift right mouse button down type of deal. And a thickness, I'll do like let's do 0.1. Yep. And then I'm going to hit R on my keyboard to use the scale tool and kind of scale it down this way. Something like that. And then I'm going to scale it in as well. Something like that. And I'm going to go to edge mode and select this edge and just move it up so that this face and this face aren't equal, just to create some kind of visual interest at the top. Then I'm going to go to face mode again, select the face, hit extrude here, and then instead of using the offset to control, which you can, I'm going to hit the R key on my keyboard. I can scale it down, but something like that, and then I'll do another extrude, and again hit the and then hit the W key, and then grab this and move it down. Something like, let's make it a little shallower than that. Something like that will work pretty well. Okay, and that's kind of your top decorative piece for your ClapTrap robot. And if you want, you can kind of make some panels in here. So to do that, I'm just gonna make a cube, move it up, flatten it out, and then scale it this way, and then scale it so it fits inside of this little slot here. Flatten it out quite a bit more, move it up, scale it back down, back out a little bit more, flatten it out, something like that. And then I'm just going to rotate it slightly, that, and then something like that. And then I'm going to go back to my move tool, and in the axis orientation, I'm going to change it back to whirl, and I'm going to move it up like so, and then hit Control D to make a copy, and move this out like about here, and then keep doing that until, and you can play with this because you're the way you have your slot, it might not fit all your pieces. So you just have this gap here. So what you can do is you can just select all your pieces, kind of, oops, sorry, kind of move them around a little bit. So that ClapTrap has a little grid on top, like so. And that's sort of the top decorative piece. And yeah, that's pretty good. The last piece I will cover is this door piece right here. And for this piece, I'm not going to do much with it because it is relatively a simple piece. Even in the reference, it's not much. It has this little slot type of door thing on it. So I think we'll keep it very simple. So I think all I'm going to do to this is add like a edge loop around here and extrude this out to give it a little ridge and bevel it, and that's all I'm going to do to this door. So to do that, use my, make sure this is selected, and use my multi-cut tool, hold down Control key to add an edge loop, and I'm going to kind of add it around there, and then I'm going to click on this face and then double click on the face next to it to kind of select the loop around here, and then I'm just going to do an extrude, and then play with the thickness just a little bit. That's too much, so I'm going to go type in 0.03. Just something small like that will work. Get back to object mode, and then I'm going to do a bevel on the faces, on the edges here and here and here. Actually, before I do that though, let me delete these kind of edges around here because we don't need that. So we can go to face mode, select and delete all the faces, and then go to edge and do a bridge command, and there you go. Go back to the edge mode here and select all of our edges, do a bevel like so. Actually, I'm going to select these two, I think. Yep, something like that, and just increase your segment, and you can play with the fraction too if you want. Something like that. And I'll do a bevel around here as well. There you go. And that's all I'm going to do for the side type of door thing. Okay. And you can do more things if you want. You can go here, add a extrude face, and then just offset it like that, and then you can scale it based on component direction, so you can scale it up like so, and then add another loop around like this using the multi-cut tool, and then this face selected, hit R with the axis orientation set to a component instead of object or whirl. Set it to component, and if this, check this, and check the position, and you can like kind of scale it in like this. Actually, sorry, let me add another loop using the multi-cut tool first. So like maybe there. Now select the face, scale it in. Okay, so you can select these faces and do an extrude and just, for some extra detail if you want. Yeah, yeah, so it's something like that on there if you want. Just, be creative, put whatever detail you want on your little trap model, trapdoor, whatever, ClapTrap. I'm jumbling my words. So yeah, so that is it. And use kind of these tools to make more pieces on to sort of fill out this area if you want. He also go to the front view here. You can see that he has like this sort of piece here. That's kind of like this shape, like this, with like a divider in the middle. So you can make it out of cubes with a loop in the middle and scale it out. And he also has like this type of shape here as well. So you can make that out of cubes, like one cube, and then just bevel the edges or something like that. So get creative and get on modeling. Same with this knob. This knob is super simple. It's just a cylinder that you extrude, give it some height, and put it in his sort of his top left corner here. All right, sounds good. And the next tutorial will be about how to make his arm here, okay? And that will be somewhat of a longer one, so keep an eye out for that. And then the last thing we need to model is, these pieces here, sort of his, I don't know what to call these. They're like his little cladding on the side here that protect his main body or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. And we'll get on modeling that, okay? And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are watching these, and I will keep making them.